Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the live Facebook. I am Martin Wong here, and tonight we will be talking about technology. That's right, which many of you may have seen the big buzzword that is going around, the ChatGPT. So we'll be talking about the technology that is behind our flagship product, and many of you would have known this is the SMARTRobie that's the one we'll be talking about in here. And in many ways it had changed the way how we feel that eventually will help a lot of people in terms of trading. The technology is very new, especially in the midst of many people out there are still using the conventional way of trading, which is relying a lot on human, but much of it has been done about SMARTRobie, where we use technology together with SMARTRobie, with Pentagon Guide, and delivering into apps for you, what we see right now in here. So some of you may already be the SMARTRobie user. That is certainly great, and those of you who are not, and I do hope that you could share this video also in your timeline, that more people would understand and benefit a lot from what we have to share with you with ChatGPT to SMARTRobie. That's right. So we're going to start shortly in here. Get comfortable, right? And welcome tonight to a lot of technology talks, which is the evolution of the conversational agent, right? Which is the AI agent in here, and how SMARTRobie was actually built way back in 2018. Actually, it's been almost coming up to 5 years already. First, we started to develop SMARTRobie in here and started to launch it in here. But as I said before, the technology that was developed in Malaysia usually stays in Malaysia. So we do hope that more people will take this and actually give it out more to people out there. Especially right now, we are covering 4 stock exchange in the world in here. One of the first technology that we even have it with ChatGPT to SMARTRobie, with the closer look on how things it is. So tonight, the kind of sharing is how we are able to evolve from SmartGPT to SmartRobie, introduction to the conversational AI chatbot, which is pretty much what SmartRobie been doing in here, and what ChatGPT cannot do, but SmartRobie can do. And of course, SmartRobie, many of you would have known this is a stock market assistant, understanding the stock market, able to deliver the stock market apps for stock trading in here. And many of you would have known this year is a year of 2023, a year of moderation, improving market in here, not just in the Malaysian perspective, but also looking into the US market in here. And of course, those of you who are still using SmartRobie for the Malaysian market, the KLSE market, you're really missing a big part of what's really happening in the entire opportunity in the stock market. You also have the SGX, you have the US, as well as the Hong Kong market. So using SmartRobie with a Pentagon Guide alert will definitely put you in the right position. So tonight we're going to be looking into that. So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in here and click that subscribe. Now, many of you would have known last week, together with my 2 guest speakers, we were talking about SmartGPT. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we heard before and you want to see some familiar faces and names in here. Thank you for coming, and usually we have a couple of our fellow members in here. If not, it also be great. Tell me where you're listening from in here. And those of you who have not used ChatGPT, and I think you're missing one of the great things. It's not that difficult, but the fact that if you've been following this channel as well as the SmartRobie apps, you probably have used ChatGPT, and in many ways, I think it's a better product than what you get on Google search. It's very accurate, and it can give you pro and cons. As such, it has changed many of the other, like the Bing search as well. Google is coming out with their Bard, ChatGPT, and a few more, even Snaps are coming up. So this is some of the main driver. And remember, SmartRobie is already in this ChatGPT wave already, much further in, as many people are beginning to accept ChatGPT as part and parcel of the way it's doing, and this definitely will be much acceptance in a lot of people's conversation in here. Let's see how it goes. We all know the adoption of technology, especially our Malaysians, generally be slow in here, but once you realize how beneficial is the market, then you'll see the now ChatGPT is from OpenAI. Let's talk about what it's able to do, and it can able to explain insider trading, right, to as well as if you are a 7-year-old. And this is one of the things that I was trying to explain to my niece, who is a 7-year-old, what is insider doing, and he put it very succinctly. A very, very complicated article. They're able to do it by putting all those into context, you see, and that's really one of the great things in here. And of course, it can also translate into Mandarin, because I want the same translation into Mandarin here. Of course, it's not going to be perfect unless for human. And there's one of the comment that was given about by the lawyers. It did say that some of these jobs eventually will replace is lawyer in here. Of course, some of you who are listening right tonight in here are lawyer, may disagree with me, but the key point what basically is saying that the person who is using, the lawyer in this case, using ChatGPT with the AI behind it, is more likely to retain his job as a lawyer than someone who don't use ChatGPT. And that's basically the bottom line is. So this is also what we talk about being a very trained soldier, a very trained trader. Now remember, we talk about the Russian soldier and the Ukraine soldier in here, right? With the, you can notice even in the Ukraine, when they go out in war and fight, they are well trained, they have the state-of-the-art tools, and of course the Russians are using the old technology in the 80s and 90s. And definitely today, when you go out into the war, right, the war zone like the stock market, you definitely need one of the tools like SMARTRobie to enable you to see things that people are not able to see. And many of you would have understand what I'm talking about. Just imagine you go in, or you're using some other products or services that's still not proven in here, and you are not likely to get where you are. So this is why SMARTRobie with all the features that we have. And remember, live Facebook with us do the Monday and Friday show in here. There many of you would have followed it and catch it through in here. So one of the things that people talk about ChatGPT they are not able to do was on stock market. So I was really interested to test out where is the likelihood of how much can I push ChatGPT to really produce the usual analysis that humans are already doing. So I actually tried something, and you all can try. You sort of praise ChatGPT first, all right? Because ChatGPT, you will trick him, and in many ways, more and more people talk to him. They was a little bit like human. That's why he has this little bit of conscience. You must praise him. And what I did was I heard that ChatGPT can give some stock trade idea, and of course he came out with the first text that you see here. As an AI model, I cannot do so and so forth. However, you know, he has the answer in there. Now the question is the answer whether it is right or not. That's very subjective, but I put it up to you. You can see from here, I asked him about the US market. Now remember, in context, these ChatGPT are more US centric, right? And I was trying to find out stock news for MYEG. You know, what are the stock news for MYEG in ChatGPT? You can't find it. They give you a couple of suggestions here, but if you put in the stock news for Apple, AAPRL, then you're likely to find some news going back to 2021, not the latest in here. And that's where some of the missing gap ChatGPT can do, where SMARTRobie intend to address it. Now back to this example you see in here is the US stock trade idea. Now we talk about stock trade idea. We don't want to use that word stock recommendation. It can be very, very sensitive in here. So again, the user's usual suspect of stock does come out. Some of the best stocks, even if you're buying some of these stocks like Apple, Amazon, Alphabet, Microsoft, Tesla, and held it over a couple of years ago, right? Even going forward, I would say these are some strong good stocks. No doubt right now, with the market US going through another round of possible high interest rate, but today there was a good PMI figures that came out from China that suggests that, you know, China is pulling back and starting to do very well, and that has rallied some of the Malaysian market as well as the ASEAN market. And this may also rally tonight what we intend to see with the US market so far in here. So right now we can see ChatGPT can do some of this, but you need to be very, very creative in the way you ask ChatGPT. All right, so I have been playing around for a couple of weeks, actually more than a month, and it's pretty good. Now, compared to ChatGPT, this is a human source out through the internet from Morningstar, which is a group of analysts and stocks that really benefit from AI. Right, so they are very similar. The kind of recommendation they give, they always sort of pan out more towards those very popular stocks and widely traded in here. So you can see, there is eventually the line between the human recommendation and the AI recommendation, which is driven by algorithm. Now, pretty much what SMARTRobie does, the algo driven, are going to be very, very blurred. So eventually going forward, a lot of the recommendation is towards moving towards the AI in here. Very few humans will do this kind of analysis. Now, ChatGPT moving over to SMARTRobie, this is where we want to draw that line of distinction. Now, ChatGPT, like it or not, is still considered as what we call a generative AI, which you can generate new content. All right, very, very new content in here. Whereas the very specific role of SMARTRobie has been towards stock market and mimicking, let me just get out of the way, mimicking human numerical analysis using the VSA algo in here, right? Because there isn't a lot of VSA algorithm. They can understand most of the things, and remember, ChatGPT actually gets and sort of fetch all the VSA material that you can get off in here. But the human intelligence, the numerical, where our team Trade VSA has put in here to really train SMARTRobie as well as to bring up the Pentagon Guider, which been missing in the ChatGPT in here. It's designed to have both dialogue, as I said before, the ChatGPT as well as SMARTRobie in here. We will test out a couple of very, very simple dialogues in here, which pretty much been work on a single channel like what we talk about here, but it's not designed to have a conversation like you can have it ChatGPT on almost every topic. For example, how do you cook nasi lemak, right? They can even give you a recipe for that. Of course, when you come to SMARTRobie, he doesn't understand that context, but he will understand certain things like what stock to buy today, right? So that's the analogy in here. So all things being said, the SMARTRobie has been sort of evolved from the AI chatbot. All right, at the end of the day, ChatGPT is still an AI chatbot with the generative AI algo with deep learning to meet the kind of demands which you see. So similarly, SMARTRobie has been also built to meet the kind of demand on three things that you see on top here. Let me just move out of the way, right? Let me just move to this side, and you can see one is a robot, one is the servicing, and another one is definitely the analysis part, because it's very difficult to train people to crunch number, train people to understand VSA. It may take time in here, but we also notice there is a lot of demand towards investor or trader relying some sort of technical analysis to make a decision, and of course they want to receive these technical trading strategies and independent recommendation, and that's what this is all about. Some people like to trade penny stocks, some people like to trade fundamental stocks, and many ways the VSA with SMARTRobie address that with it, which is available 24/7. It never goes to sleep in here except maybe some downtime, and then it provides the VSA analysis, and it has the what we call the service mobility. All right, let me just move over this side here. Yep, that's right, service mobility, where you are able to over here, that's right, where you are able to use your handphone and able to sort of be anywhere else and able to access this information, as well as the education. So SMARTRobie, in many ways, we are intrigued towards the educational side, giving that a priority back and the power of control to the user itself. And that's what really the SMARTRobie is. Okay, now SMARTRobie, like it or not, you can download it from the Google Play Store and Apple Play Store. If you have not, I think you should. All right, so many of you who are listening right now tonight are our SMARTRobie, and if you are some of the relative new one in here, thank you for coming. And SMARTRobie has been intended both in English and in Bursa. So we have moved on to 4 exchange right now, so you can see. Let me just bring out the SMARTRobie right now in here. You can see this is on my phone, right? You can see we have 4 exchange KLSE, S&P 500, SGX, and the Hong Kong market in here. And a lot of the algorithm formulas is actually based on volume spread analysis. We don't use the traditional technical analysis because we find that there is a lot of holes that we need to really patch up, and VSA has been one of the more leading indicator, right? And it's been tailored for the new millennium and for the new beginners, because VSA, like it or not, it's one of those very what we call high advanced knowledge, which we find many new millennium investors just that they don't have the time and the patience to learn it. And I took some time to actually learn it in here, but eventually once you learn it, you don't use it, guess what, you just simply lose it. And that's why we always find that if you're able to adapt this kind of algorithm, this kind of knowledge into a machine learning like SMARTRobie, then everybody can enjoy. And that's really what and part and parcel of the SMARTRobie today. All right, let me just... So if you look from here, SMARTRobie able to pick some winners over the last 1 month in here based on the Pentagon Guide. You can see BJ Food, SOP, Ta'an, Revenue, right? These are some of the early ones like last year that we have Genep's, Sime Plantation, and MYEG. So you can see from here, this was from the 14th of January 2022. Just a snapshot, they're able to pick it, and all these trade idea is available on SMARTRobie today, right? Now, this is the more recent one. We just saw one just now. So you can see from SMARTRobie having it 24/7, you're able to pick up TechScam more than about winner, then Pelican 45%, Focus SP, USMA in here. And these are the things I always talk about in the morning session every Monday and Friday, 10:15 on the SMARTRobie, but focusing more on SMARTRobie on Monday and Friday will be the VSA 360 in here. All right. So right now we have the exchange. You can see from here we have also the marketplace, little bit of those who want to pick up some skills like the SIDC 10 points, right? So from what we have here, we have the KLSE, we have the US S&P 500 right now restricting more, plus another 300S per Rakuten trading list that we have. So whenever Rakuten updates it, we also update on our SMARTRobie in here. It's just that US has too many 8,000 over stocks, and sometimes you don't trade them, and that's always been the challenge in here. Thank you, Aisha. All right, and then we have the SGX and also having the Hong Kong, right? For unfortunately for our Malaysian Muslim friend, depending whether you're Sharia or not, many of those shares that you can trade are generally only the KLSE in here. And hopefully if you're able to trade the Apple shares, then some of these like Nvidia, then you can buy some of these shares over there, right? The 4 exchange is definitely covered in here. Now, what can SMARTRobie app do while others cannot, especially in the context of ChatGPT? So we have 6 area in here, right? The 6th area, first of all, this is actually based on ChatGPT. So I was asking ChatGPT, what should a good SMARTRobie app does, and this is what it gives me. And unfortunately, we have all this in here. First, we have the Trade Idea Research Toolkit, which actually tell you the target profit, the support and resistance, actually more like the trading plan, the exit strategy. And then we also have the FA rating, which actually help, especially when it comes to finding good fundamental companies. Generally want to have high ratings in here, and also live data, live market data, which is the other one, and the Pentagon Guide chart, which actually tells you when to enter and when to exit. We also have the news headline for each individual stocks. Of course, not to forget, some of the later release will be the watch list, where every time you see a Pentagon Guide being alert, you will get one of these alert in here. And the alert and notification, you can also alert based on price and percentage in here. And the latest release is just top of my head is the portfolio tracking. But for tonight, we may not have all the time to cover it, but I definitely want to cover 2 new things that can get you off started. Is the Trade Idea Research Toolkit, how to use them, and then how to use the watch list plus the alert. All right, the others one pretty much going to be covered during this site in here. If you're okay, that's how we want to do. Now let's look at the first of all is the SMARTRobie demo. All right, the SMARTRobie demo, and definitely I'm going to bring out the SMARTRobie demo in here. So I reconnect back, right? Because after a while, And let me just reconnect this back again. All right, it looks like I have an issue on my reconnection, but I'll try to come back here again. All right, so we got it. So we got our connection back in here, and this is where you want to have. So first of all, you hit the home button, right? The home button is generally where you see all your display port on SMARTRobie here. What we are focusing on the Robie chat. This is just like typical any marketplace that you have all the necessary information in here. So one thing you want to do is to click on the Robie chat. Right, Robie chat, and once you get on the Robie chat, on the top there you can find the KLSE. We got the S&P 500, we have the SGX, as you can see I'm clicking it now, and also the HKSE. So for tonight, just for our discussion, we'll be using the KLSE. So this is where you want to put in the so-called couple of things you can do, just like a conversation. Many maybe or may not know is what can SMARTRobie does. Okay, so what is SMARTRobie? Okay, so we put in what is SMARTRobie. Let's see how that's work. Okay, so you put it in there, and there you go. So SMARTRobie is going to tell you what they can. SMARTRobie is trading mobile apps created by Trade VSA based in Malaysia. The creator is me lah, Martin Wong. Okay, and you can check out the link there. So SMARTRobie is an app that provide features. You can provide live data, stock price too. It's still the delay up to 10 to 15 minutes, so you can just key it in. You can type in what is VSA, what is SOS, what is SOW in here. So it's, in a way, it's very conversational. It's not as intelligent as the general, more powerful ChatGPT in here. And number two, it has the Pentagon Guider. Let me see if I can pinch this. No, I can't. Pentagon Guider stock screener. We also have the intraday stage 2 screener here, but generally that's what SMARTRobie is famous for its Pentagon Guider. It has a Pentagon Guider chart. All right, that's the one. You have the red pentagon and the green pentagon, which actually tells you the sign of strength and the likelihood movement of the market for the entry and exit. Then you have the number 4 SMARTRobie fundamental analysis rating, which is the Robie FA stock. We can also type that next. And number 5 is the stock trade idea generation, really based on the VSA method on the technical analysis. So you can actually type is what is the FA ratings. Okay, so you can type that, what is the FA ratings, and see what it says in here. So let's switch this up. So you can see FA ratings, we have two. One is the technical ratings, which you all see in the Pentagon flow in here. The other one is the FA rating, which is available on stock fundamental. So technical rating, you have 0 to 100 and 0 to 100 for bearish in here. A good idea to start buying is when the technical bullish signal has a score around 70% from a low percentage, which is around 50, 60, 70. That is actually a good time to be buying. Now, on the focus on fundamental stocks, FA rating we have here is we have 1 to 8. Usually start off with 0, so we put NA. It's actually not relevant, it's actually it's a 0 in here. So 2.2. Good investment stock generally starts from FA rating of 3 and higher. I think many of you may have already known this, so no surprises at all in here, right? And generally, if you can find those 6 to 8, 5 to 6, and fair is about 3 to 4, poor is below 2 to N. So this is where we want to be looking strong fundamental undervalued shares, and that's what we are looking for in here. So when you have this FA rating, every time you want to put that, you can actually key in that one. So you can also check out what is SOS. Okay, let's see if that works or not. All right, so SOS, it has all the definition, line change. You also have a video in here. You can form the Pentagon Guider, you can watch that video. You can join the Telegram chat room, or you can call it. So all those information is actually already in SMARTRobie. We did a bit of training of SMARTRobie just to answer some of the usual questions we have. So we want to make it basic, but all of a sudden we have ChatGPT came in right now, and it becomes very big thing. Maybe some of the questions that you really want it to answer, all right, just let us know. We can program in here, but the whole thing, we just want to keep it. Okay, we are back. I hope you are able to receive. So just now we were talking about what stock to buy, right? So continue with do it. What stock to buy now? Okay, and you can click that, and that's where you can actually have a conversation in here. If you put that on ChatGPT, it says that it's an AI model and not supposed to do that, so it's able to do this. Okay. Can SMARTRobie alert half-day trading momentum, especially top volume stock? Not yet at this moment. Usually what we do, we go through the alert, and some of the more smarter features, we actually do it through the VSA 360 in here. Maybe future alert, we can do that. Again, it's all about the resources that we needed. Now I lost the connection to SMARTRobie in here, so we just have to wait for it. So let me just switch back to in here, and then let me just try to connect back to. I've been having connection in here issues. All right, looks like I don't have access to my phone right now. All right. Okay, let me try one more thing here. I was showing it nicely, and let's connect to my phone. So let's go. All right, welcome back. So as we are looking into the likelihood, what you want to ask in ChatGPT. So one of the things I asked ChatGPT was how to select stock that is ready to move higher. And actually it gave me 5 very good points. Number 1, look for undervalued stocks, okay? Which SMARTRobie actually has, which is trading at the lower prices than its true value. Number 2, all right, consider momentum. I highlighted those the black font so you can see better that is making higher high. A clue, that's Pentagon Guider. Number 3, analyze industrial sector. Okay, only invest in companies or in sectors that are moving. All right, so those are the 3 things. Next, follow insider trading. All right, and we all know this is the latest feature that we have on VSA 360, and then eventually we'll maybe put it up into SMARTRobie, but it all depends on the take-up rate that we have. So right now it's available on VSA 360. And number 5, consider the overall market trend, the major index, what is it doing in here. And if you have those right, which is considered by ChatGPT, and that is likely what it feels, right, based on the research, based on the number crunching, the stocks is likely to go high. But of course, we can never be 100% sure that these are the stocks. Let's go. But let's look at the first one. How to use SMARTRobie effectively to select stock. First of all, look for undervalued stock. Consider stock that is trading below value in here, and you want to able to what we call, right, look for these shares that has a potential to rise when the market comes. All right, so this is one of the things that we want to do. Yeah, I think many of you already know this answer, right? Let me just bring up the SMARTRobie out here. Oh, okay. I have some issues. I'm not able to get into SMARTRobie. All right, we have Aisha is asking about NILEX. Let's see whether I can get into. All right, so here we are. So let's get to the all right, so this is the SMARTRobie. Right now we are able to lock in here. I do apologize, just now there wasn't any thing. So look for undervalued shares. So one of the ways we want to do this for looking undervalued shares, right, is to look for Robie FA list. So you go to Robie chart and you just wait for it to load in here. All right, and you click Robie FA collections. And these are the lists that you will usually get. All right, you noted just now what is the Robie FA rating are. There's one MYEG CCK, right? We make the FLA one. We got the MFLA, okay, 6 out of 8. IOI PG, Harbor, Lagenda, Focus SP, FGV, and Dufu, Gamunda, RHB, all right. Generally, you will notice that some of these stocks are rated by Robie as having been undervalued by looking at the PE, looking at the dividend yield, and looking at the return on equity, and from then onwards it come up with a very simple rating. Now compared to humans, some of these humans say yes, this company may be rated 6 out of 8, but I don't trust the return on equity. So that's where the human side will need to assess, and that's simply why today some of the big broker houses has that algorithm, but they don't have that human part. But more importantly, what we understand from here is also the technicals, the technical analysis, looking at the smart money, insider trading, whether smart money is buying the shares or selling the share. That is also important. So we find it coupling with the Robie rating and understanding the price and volume chart and taking it from a perspective of what we call the Pentagon guide, we're able to determine. Let's take a look at one example in here. Right, I'm going to show you an example, right? And you all notice just now the first one that was in our list, right, was MYEG. So when you click on that one, so the Robie FA rating, I think we just asked that one already. So you can see from here, MYEG was the first on the list. Right, there's many CCK. You can go down and check out some of those. But for this study and for this little bit of demonstration, we will talk about the Robie FA rating for MYEG. Now, if you go on to the list, right, let me just bring up the SMARTRobie in here. So you have this list, and once you go in, you can just click on 0138, and of course you'll see this list here. You have 6 menu options, what I call the minor menu options for the stocks. You have the stock price, stock comment, stock chart, stock fundamental, trading plan, exit strategy, and news. So we're going to be looking at this, and of course most popular one is use the Pentagon guide, which is able to tell us where is likelihood the market's going to be. So you can see from here, current Pentagon is turned on the 24th, just about a few days ago, and you can see also today is up 2%, all right, and the market closes at 7.3 So you can click on the stock chart, and basically what you see is this here. Okay, all right, it's just one chart here. I'm kind of surprised why there's only one chart in here. Okay, never mind. We go back to it's still updating the chart, as you can see. So we just use the chart right at the middle in here. So it actually turned green Pentagon on the 24th of February, which is the 1-4 here. Okay, 1.4% up already. Now, and if you look at the trading plan, all right, look at the trading plan. Let's look at the trading plan for MYEG, and of course, you want to decide whether you want to trade the stock or not. So you want to look at the trading plan. Of course, you can also look at the stock fundamental too to see why is it rated 6 out of 8. For start, it pays a dividend. Okay, the sector is only at 1.5, this pay 1.7, ROE of 20%, and the PE of the sector is 27 times, and PE of is 13 times. And many of you already know the reason why it fell, right? But if you want to check out that, you can go to news for MYEG, and you can see net profit rises to 400 million, recommending 1.1 cent. MYEG continues to buy share buyback, raising repurchase to 10.7. MYEG turned around on the CAS share price, rises 11% February 15. But early on, you saw the big drop on the chart. That was because of the government coming in and said that they're going to scrap the license, digital license, and as well as the immigration. So that was a big drop in there. But since then, the stocks have recovered somehow, because we can see also insider buying. If you use the VSA 360, you can see the sentiments is very, very positive. You can notice based on the news there, it's very positive, and this is really one of the things you can look at. And that's a question here: any counter to monitor tomorrow? And it all depends on your personality, whether you're looking for undervalued stock or you're looking for momentum stocks. Okay, so right now, if you're looking at just analyzing MYEG in here, and we want to check out the trading plan. All right, now the trading plan, the way to interpret is there's a line change 5 days ago. There are more SO, SOW. They have 3 SO, the stronger, so the backgrounds are quite strong. You can see from here, Pentagon Guider, green Pentagon 5 days ago. These are combination of a good strong in here, currently in a strong condition mode here. So it says here R1, R2, okay, where weekly resistance is 0.76. So let's take a look at what is, okay, R1. Okay, let's ask SMARTRobie what is R1 here. You can see R1, it says is a resistance level 1, R2 is a resistance level 2, SL refer to stop loss, ATR SL is the average true win stop loss, S1 and S2 can be used as a stop loss price too. Now these are risk management method to prevent disaster loss should the trade don't work. So this is usually where you want to cut loss at those level. In technical analysis, trader usually take action at the support and resistance price level, either to sell or buy at this level. S for support, R for resistance level. So we can actually use that as your entry in here. So based on this judging from in, weekly resistance at 76 cents. So you can also interpret you need 3.4% more before the market move to go in if you want to buy at the weekly breakout in here. And R1 usually is also resistant. This is also another profit target area, the R1 in here. But generally one of the things I teach on my breakfast show is to enter after the Pentagon Guider. In this case, you can see Pentagon Guider came in on the 24th. So generally, sometimes the Pentagon Guider would approach you, enter the opening of the next day, right? You enter the opening of the next day, that will be entered. So if you have entered this, you should be already perhaps maybe in the money in here, and then you can use some of the suggestive profit target at the weekly resistance or maybe at R1, all right? But definitely right now you can see green Pentagon has come up in here, and you avoided catching the falling knife, and that's for the beginners are pretty good. So the red line that you see on the chart is the ATR stop loss, right? So ATR stop loss, you can see from here. Let me just go up, just what is R1 here is the stop loss price level, all right? The stop loss price level in here. So simple definition, SMARTRobie able to take care of it in here. You can use that to look at it and try to understand there's a trading plan. Very important, just like, you know, before you use any equipment, understand how it works. But the most common mistakes I see a lot of people make is that they get into a trade, then later on don't know what to do. They ask their friends. So it's the same thing. You know, I get hold of a very good equipment in here. I didn't read the instruction, and then eventually I found out that I misused or damaged the equipment, and that could be one of the things in here. So understand what you're going through. You can always paper trade this again, right? And see whether it works or not in here. And now let's say you enter earlier. Okay, now let's get out. Let's say you enter earlier. Okay, you enter earlier, and what you want to do now, right? What you want to do now, okay? And use a trading plan, right? As I said before, a good entry point is when it break higher the weekly resistance. So you can see. Let me just bring back the the trading plan here. Weekly resistance at 76. Okay, breaking at 76. All right, that was the 75 cents, 76 here at 3.4%. So why I'm saying is also some of you may not know, because when you see an upthrust, right, generally upthrust the market will come back down a bit. All right, so you want it to break higher before you go in. So this is where you can set the alert. Later I'll show you how to set the alert. So make a note of it, right? So I'm just going to type in, make out on my piece of paper here, right? Alert me at 76 cents, all right? Because we're going to be doing that. MYEG at 76 cents. The low end is how much? Let's take a look at the low end. Low end will be the exit strategy, right? But we know we do want to go in at 46 cents. So we want to alert at 46 cents. Now, okay. All right, so another good entry point will be what I've just said. Enter on the opening price after the green Pentagon. Now I can't say it before. That's where you need to get up early, 9 o'clock, not 10 o'clock, not 11 o'clock, right? when the market opened at 9 o'clock, you need to get in and buy at the opening. We have done extensive back tests. That is the best entry so far. So in this example, if you have gone in, you probably bought it around the same price. Let me see if the chart has been updated on MYEG. Okay, hit that again. Yep, okay, it's updated right now. All right, it's updated right now. So let me just show you what I mean here. And you can switch to a 3-month and to a 6 months. So 6 months, of course, you can also rotate the chart. So on your phone, when you rotate it, looks much better. You can see better. And in my case, because I had the phone portrait, so switch to 1 month. Right, so you can see this is the chart that we are seeing. It's updated, right? Earlier on in the morning, you see up there, right? When I did this was an upthrust. Remember, the sign of strength, sign of weakness does change because that during the day in here, because it is a live chart after all. So you can see the snapshot I have here compare. So it's not. So from here onwards, we do know that a good entry point would be. Let me just mouse over here. So that will be on the 27th. So you can use mouse over or just touch it with your fingers in here and you can get in. Opening price will be, assuming that if you got in at 72.5 cents, now it's closing at 73. So you're a little bit in the money already. All right. So if you're in the money already, how long do you want to hold it? Okay, usually if you want to hold it, it all really depends on you. You can use our suggested trading plan, which actually using the weekly resistance or the R1 and R2, and also more important is the time frame, right? Some people want to have 20 or 30%, may have to hold very, very long, and sometimes you don't get there. So again, it comes with a bit of experience. Best of all, test it out, use paper trading and see what works for you. All right, that will be the do. So assuming that you already enter in, now, when to exit? All right, so when to exit? So what we do, we can get out from here, just switching back to the here. All right, so what we do is we look at the exit strategy. All right, the exit strategy in here. So click on exit strategy. All right, sometimes you don't get a response. You click one more time. All right, and this is where you get the full spectrum of what SMARTRobie wants you to say. All right, so you have the chart. So Pentagon is already green, strong position, the blue trend zone, but be cautious should MYEG turn weak with red Pentagon. There's a line change on 24th, which is 5 days ago. There was a spring, which is 7 days ago. All right, so that is the background with more SOS, more sign of strength, right? Over sign of weakness. These are the strong condition up move. Look for an uptrend. MYEG is above the ATR stop loss, which is the 60 cents, which is about 20%. So that means your cutoff point, your stop loss is 20%. So can you accept 20% now if you buy this level in here, right? And watch out for the ATR stop loss, because usually when the market break below the ATR stop loss, you need to cut. Okay, you need to cut. Or when you take out the red Pentagon, you can also need to go. So while also S1, let's take a look at S1 is 64 cents. So that also means 64 cents. If you go into the stock chart that is above you here, you can see 64 cents is your support, your S1. That could be your shorter term stop loss. Right, if you don't want to get out at ATR stop loss, you can also get loss, exit at 64 cents. The other one is S2 at 52 cents. ATR stop loss is at 60 cents. So that's the one that you must definitely get, because it looks into the volatility stops. Okay. The further below the S1 and S2 support level from the closing price, the better. Okay, the further away your support from the closing price is better. You want the market to move high and not to retest the support level. In this case, the support level is 64 cents. You want it to move higher and higher in here. Now you have R1, which is 96.5 cents. That will be your target, and 103. So assuming you got in at the next bar on the opening bar after the green Pentagon. And what day is the green Pentagon? That's on the 25th. All right, the 25th. All right, you can go back to your charts here. I'll just switch back to here. Okay, just go back to top here. Stock, yeah, hit this one. So this is your stock chart. Switching to a 1 month. Click on the 1 month. So just now we were talking about the entry at 76 cents, and your ATR stop loss you can see is around 60 cents. All right, 60 cents, that's your ATR stop loss at 60 cents. If you click here, it also tells you ATR stop loss 86.5 cents. So it does tells you the 20-day moving average and also the 40-day moving average. So you have all those information to make a really good information in here. So if you got out, stop loss, worst case ATR stop loss is 60 cents. If not, will be around 64, which is the S1. Okay, so profit target, you can target it early on. Just now we have another target. You can go to the trading plan, looking at something like 96.5 cents. All right, 96.5 cents. So all those are the levels that you can have if you want to trade this. But sometimes stock may make a turn and you want to take quick profit, that's fine. But if you want to run your profit, you can also do that too. So that's what we want to cover on the exit. All right. So next one, we may not have time to run all this, so maybe next week we can also still continue with this SMARTRobie ChatGPT kind of training that we've seen so far. So due to the time, we may stop around 10:30. We still got another 12. Next one is the momentum. Now, one of the audience just now were asking, right, what to monitor tomorrow, depending whether you look for undervalued shares. Now, why undervalued shares are good? Because most of them, if you like it or not, do pay dividend. Right now, if you're looking for, and generally when you pay dividend, you're looking for a longer time frame. Now, if you are considering momentum, then you want to pay attention that is a stock that is ready to take higher, like what we've seen in the previous. Those green Pentagon has really moved up, and generally some of the stocks that move a lot, I think you already know, right, would be all those penny shares. Okay, your good undervalued shares, fundamental shares, it's not going to move up 81%, it's not going to move up 45% nor 24%. Right, it's going to move up generally quite small range. But if you're trading the penny shares in here, be careful, you must ready to cut loss fast too, especially right now. As I said before, the overall market, the KLSE market, is already red Pentagon in here, and if we have time remaining, we will go into that. All right, so this is the momentum stocks. You can see for USMA how he has gone up, and if you have entered much earlier, right, on the chart in here, the ATR stop loss is what we call the red line, and you can really trail your profits as it goes up in here. Even though you may have red Pentagon, you can take partial profit depending how you want to trade, but the market did not close below the ATR stop loss, so you can still run your profit. Right, so that's what we talk about, running your profit in here. So when it comes to momentum play, you can go on to the Pentagon Guider. Right, Pentagon, so you go back to the main menu. Let me just bring out the SMARTRobie here. Right, and you can see from here, right, and you can see Pentagon Guider, click on that one. All right, Pentagon Guider. All right, then today we have 12. All right, so Pentagon Guider in here, some of them actually occurred earlier on. All right, you can see EA Tech, that's the one. Okay, EA Tech, transportation. Okay, then we have Denko up 7.3% on the 28th. Then we got some property. Okay, I'm going to reconnect back again. Okay, let me see. Actually, some of you have it, you can connect to your phone and you can actually read it from there. I think it will be better too. Just that I have trying to get my phone connected back, which will be kind of challenge here. All right, so let's move on in here, and assuming we have Denko, okay, Denko Mac holding at 44 cents. It's a green Pentagon, but you can see the Pentagon flow, it's pretty high, 90%, and generally what we are looking for is those what we call plus 70%, plus 70% where it hasn't run up much yet. Okay, I'm still having issue with the connection. So still having the connection issue here. I'm just going to try again. Okay, can you all access it? There was Andrew Tanampak live ini. Okay. So I'm still not able to connect. I'm still holding on. You're still holding on to NILEX. Okay, we can take a look at NILEX later on. Let me just see whether I can bring NILEX up. Shivering, I think let's we can take a look at it. But more importantly, you have to ask yourself, what was your plan when you traded NILEX? Was it a short term or was it a long term? I think that is the most rational question in here. Because when you go over to SMARTRobie, if it's already a red pentagon hit below your ATR stop loss, you need to cut loss. Alright, so the question is, can you cut? If you cannot cut, that means you are not trained in the way to be a trader. Right? You're more like, you know, listening here, listening there, and that's why also explains why your result is. As I said before, earlier on, that's a difference between a trained trader and the one that simply don't want to be trained or don't want to learn anything. They just want to listen to it. So especially those soldiers, remember in the Russian-Ukraine war, if you are not well trained, what happened to you when you go up to the war? You'll be slaughtered. And that's why you see in here. All right. So Andrew says that NILEX, I see a long-term growth, but initially I want to trade short-term. Now be careful, this is a very common mistake. Also, I see a lot of people who refuse to cut loss. It's like short-term trading turn long-term. All right, short-term trading turn long-term, and it depends. You may be stuck there for long. All right, so this is where again, training and awareness. Okay, awareness. Don't make the same mistakes many people make. I know cutting loss is very difficult, and that's why we talk about you being well trained, whether you have joined a group being training or not, and definitely the kind of money that you put in to join and learn will benefit and pay you dividend. That's what we call smart trader in here. Or at the end of the day, it's all about getting the necessary knowledge to get equip ourselves in here. We have no one to blame but ourselves. Right? That's more important in here, right? Because I want all of you to use SMARTRobie in here to be well trained. Right? And if you're not well trained, not cut loss, it's not the tools, because people always easier to make. Let me just bring back. Yes, I think I got it back already. Bring back. Yep, I got SMARTRobie back now. Alright, so I got SMARTRobie back now, and just now there was a question on Andrew on NILEX. You can check it out. Let's take a look at the stock chart there. I think it's already down. The fact that some people do ask about the stocks, I can always see it is already in. And also, when the market is down right now, especially we see the stock market down, and it's going to be very tough to actually win going forward. Okay. All right. Oh, NILEX is still just turned red pentagon only. Okay, so not too bad. Hopefully, all right. It's not a downtrend, right? And you can see right now you got red pentagon. Okay, so let's say you have NILEX, good. Okay, and let's take a look at the exit strategy. All right, assuming you already bought NILEX, and let's take a look in here, and let's take a look at what now. Okay, what the SMARTRobie says here. Okay, NILEX is already in red pentagon in weak condition. Look out for strength should NILEX turn strong. Okay, there's an uptrend SOW with a confirmed no supply 6 days ago. With more SOS, there are signs that there's a strong condition. Look for up movement. So SMARTRobie is looking into it and sees a potential of an uptrend. NILEX is above ATR stop loss. Right, the further down again is the same here. So S1. Okay, your first support will be at 54 cents. S2 is 53 cents in here. Your weekly support is 54 cents. So this will be your support. So you want to make sure when you buy at that NILEX at that price, it doesn't break below the S1 and S2. All right, and profit target, you can use R1, which is the 65.5 cent, 12.9 times inside here. So that gives you an idea where you're going for. All right, no doubt right now you have a red pentagon. That also tells you likelihood the market may move sideways in here, but looking at it, you have more SOS over SOW. There is a strong condition for up move. So it didn't feel so bad right now for Andrew. So that's why it's important to understand this. Try to read through it in here. All right. So use SMARTRobie, this one, and then you'll be beneficial. And of course, for many of you people, you have impian. Okay, we'll look at impian later, but we need to go on with the remaining of the demo, and hopefully more people will benefit for this too. All right, so that's one example. So use a trading band and exit strategy. So I've done that one in here. Now the industrial sector is maybe something I can keep it for next week. All right, I'll keep this for next week. It's already 10:30. Some of you already late. So next week we have part 2 of this one in here, where we are using SMARTRobie to analyze this in here, or maybe we can do a SMARTRobie training eventually. And so for my closing, right, one of the things I want to do for my closing in here is, okay. So for my closing is SMARTRobie can do many of what today we just covered this trade idea research toolkit in here. So next week we'll continue with part 2. And thank you for coming tonight in here. I don't want to keep too long in here, so we will do part 2 next week, right? And there's also watch list and alerts. This is where you can set your stop loss. Like just now MYEG, right? We said that if it hits 76 cents, we wanted to buy it, and that's also one way you can do it through the watch list and alert. We don't have time for that one, but it's pretty easy. You can try it out on your own using that. It's not that difficult to do it in here, right? But next week we can demo it in here, and you can put the trading plan and exit strategy all together in here. So in short, SMARTRobie are able to have the feature that was actually recommended by ChatGPT, the research idea, the live market data, right, the news headline, watch list, and even portfolio tracking right now that we are having in here, certainly filling in there. Actually on the 16th of March, 2 more weeks from now, I've been invited by Rakuten Trade to demonstrate SMARTRobie for US. So join me then. For those of you who are interested in the US market, as I said before, this is definitely one big real market in here. I'll be a speaker for Rakuten Trade in here. You can also follow me on the Facebook at Martin TF Wong in here, and also every Monday and Friday at 10:15 so far in here. And don't forget to join our Telegram chat room for all stock market information in here, where you can get all the latest education in here. For tonight, there are some other questions here. What is Jean is asking, what is SOW and ATR stop loss? Ask SMARTRobie. Okay, so just type into SMARTRobie and you're able to tell you that. All right, what is ATR stop loss? Okay, ATR stop loss, you can type it in there. Okay, let me just show you again. All right, so it is a stop loss level. All right, so ATR stop loss is a professional stop loss, which you must cut loss if the stock closed below your ATR stop loss. All right, SOW is what we call, so what is SOW? Okay, just type what is SOW into SMARTRobie there, right? And SOW are what we call sign of weaknesses. Okay, sign of weaknesses are upthrust, sell-off, confirm no demand, and these are likelihood to show that market will tend to turn weaker, moving to the bearish side. But you can also watch the video from the URL in here. Just click on that one. Right, I think it will take you to a YouTube video, and you can watch all that at any time that you want to. All right, but don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in here, right, for all things that is related to trading. And thank you for tonight. Thank you for your audience. Don't forget, share this video on timeline and invite your friends to join us for our part 2 of our SMARTRobie from GPT demonstration, a stock market assistant ready to trade and ready to help you in here. And I do hope that the example that we have done, MYEG, as well as NILEX, right, which earlier I thought was on the really downtrend, but SMARTRobie was able to analyze it well using those sign of strength and sign of weakness. All right, that's all we have. Good night. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next week again. But don't forget to join me again on Friday at 10:15 on our live Facebook for our breakfast show with VSA 360. Thank you. Bye-bye.